the 25 years of democracy, the celebration and the commemoration of some of the struggles of persons that were involved in this movement at that time. The president in his speech also mentioned the fact that during these discussions with the labor unions, no one was harassed or arrested for anything, which we know that protest, strike is a fundamental right in a democracy. So this goes to show how far we have come. Now, let's talk about his statement on the executive bill that will be sent on the minimum wage to the National Assembly. Let's talk about viability of state to pay, even if it is the 60,000 naira, and how effective will this be, looking at some of the non-monetary initiative that has been brought in by this government.
You see, the fundamental is to grow the economy. Grow the economy in such a way that it isn't the numbers on your wages that matter. It is the value in which those numbers can attract. If you like, put the numbers on wage to 2 million as your minimum wage. If that 2 million cannot attract the right value that can create an essence to human living, then we'll be moving around the circle. And to your first narrative, with respect to what the president has said, that nobody was harassed, I remember in year 2000, we were fighting against pump price of fuel, increment of pump price of fuel. I remember that the government of that day did send policemen to tear gas us. And that was the only time that the military or the police have ever had the opportunity to arrest me. Because we were student activists, we were pushing on in the street for reforms, and my friend is not a very big financial guru in Canada now. We call him Chichino. He was then the PRO of University of Lagos. We were on the street, he was arrested, and I was looking at him, and they had thrown tear gas. One of my friends, Koshishiro, picked the tear gas. The thing exploded in his hand and cut 3 fingers. It was exploded on my leg. And I saw Chichano arrested, was being beaten. So I had to give up myself. Because if I give up myself, that beating will stop, right? We were thrown into the Area C command and all of that, beating blue, black, and everything. And the sitting president was the one that came to our rescue and told them to release us, right? He advocated for it. Mike Okiro was then the commissioner of police in Lagos. But did we record such incidents in this administration? The answer is no. We know what we went through, even in a democratic dispensation. So the president is right to have said that nobody was beaten, nobody was harassed, nobody even smelt the tear gas. We smelt the tear gas. We threw back the tear gas. We dodged the bullets. Some of our friends still have cuts, not in the military era. Not in the military era. The military era was a different scenario. We picked bodies of some of our comrades that were shot dead. So the president is right to have said nobody was, but rather they were called to sit down and let's build the country together. Yes, this is your position, but these are the realities. Okay, if we get to a stage whereby the dollar now goes to like 50 naira to $1, so how do we recalibrate the wage? Will it be agreeable that we recalibrate it back from 450 naira, if that is what is agreed, to recalibrate it to social realities that will not, make our currency and economy watery? Those are the issues that must be firmed up so that we don't create an imbalance in our economic realities.
Should we look at the minimum wage or the living wage, via the prism of the dollar? Because we don't spend dollar in Nigeria. Definitely. A white man or an American may not be able to feed with $1, but I know one can get a meal with the current, rate of the dollar to the naira, and then you're still fine, in the morning, even in the afternoon, if possible, depending on where you get the food from. Should we look at it via the prism of the dollar, or we should look at the purchasing power in this country, especially when it comes to the naira? This is the amount we can offer, and this is what it can buy you. How do you think are we getting it, misplaced, or is it in line of good conversational thoughts?
I will look at it from the perspective of living wage, not minimum wage. What can my wage afford me, right? And I'll also look at it from the perspective of having a competitive economy. Because if your wage is not competitive with our next door neighbors, say Benin Republic, for instance, right? I'm not even talking about Europe or America. Then we will not achieve what we're set to achieve, right? Take, for instance, the cost of bread now in the UK and the US. If we are going to convert it to Nigerian money, you will see that the cost of bread in Nigeria is far cheaper than how much you buy bread, how much you buy soda in the UK right now. I mean, minimum, a bottle of soda in the UK right now is almost like over £1 or getting to £2. Now, if you convert it to that same bottle of soda, I don't want to mention the brand here, you will see that it's far cheaper. So let's look at a wage, a living wage that is competitive to what you have in international standard, right? And in order to even do that, a lot of those countries now, the cost of living, the cost of purchase is quite high. So we have to do something to domesticate our realities in such a way that at the end of the day, we have stronger value to what we have internationally. Because you can't stop a Nigerian from not moving all around. And they are still going to carry whatever they have earned as wage in order to live in other clime. Maybe they go for holiday, they choose to school abroad because it's a choice, or they choose to go for medical tourism is a choice, or whatever. So we have to look at a reality that will give us an advantage globally.
Yeah, well, sorry to jump in. When you say it's a choice, some will say it's because of the lack of infrastructure, inadequate access to education. If you go to school, it's not the exact thing that you get abroad. So some might want to disagree with you.
Let me give you an example. I was a chairman once, a ward of a local government from 2008 2014, right? My salary could earn me then to go to a private hospital, right, to seek medical care in Nigeria, perhaps outside.
Then, yeah.
I never did. I met one doctor, I keep saying it. I left 52 doctors when I was leaving. NYC support, retiree support, and others. I got them. Non-pensionable staff. I had over 1,000 non-pensionable staffs. I never for one day go to a private hospital. My doctors will come to my house to treat me. I won't lie on the bed if I wanted drip. I'd rather stay in my parlor. They will put the drip. I'll take it. I was giving free drugs to people from 0 to 16 and 60 and above, right? I was working with Profis Pharmaceutical, a PPP arrangement. It is that drug that I take, right? And all of that. It's a choice. That was my choice because I believe in the doctors that I got. So it's a choice. And I stand by it. But I also sponsor some people for surgery in India because the reality was that we do not have such people that can take care of that reality.
And at that point, it's not a choice.
At that point, it's also a choice. Rather, I mean, it's a choice whether I'll take the person to this institution or I take the person to an institution where it is predominantly agreed that they will have something. My PA's daughter had hole in the heart, right? A severe case this time around. And we had to get a doctor in India. One of the leaders in the local government had serious terminal illness. Two of them, I had to take them to India. One, as at that time, I don't think kidney surgery transplant was rampant in Nigeria. We had to do a kidney transplant in India.
It's still not a choice.
So it's a choice because we either wait on the queue here for the person or we spend more to quickly. So it's a choice.
It is still expedient, not a choice.
Whether it's expedient, it's a choice to use the expediency.